Hey guys, today we want to check the truth of one myth. There are many stories that if a dog is taken far away from home and left alone, it will be able to find its way back. We have an 8-month-old Alabai puppy, Misha, and the GPS tracker. Today we will find out if this is either a myth or the truth. As we have the Alabai as a guard, we relieve it of its duties. And we go to the reservoir, which is located at a distance of 350 meters from the starting point, if we follow a straight line. In this case, this figure will be 400 meters, because we will go on the path which is almost flat. We have walked along this path many times before, but I have never paid attention to how many things the dog sniffs along the way. It's literally every corner and every blade of grass. Dogs rely most on their sense of smell from all the feelings, which is 48 times better than that of humans. And with the right wind direction, they are able to distinguish the smell, the source of which can be located at a distance of 1 kilometer. By the way, there is a railway between the reservoir and our hangar, so we've specially chosen a place where there is an underground passage. And here we are. It's time to take Misha off the leash. Having been free, it immediately goes to the very place where we have already been and quite recently and starts sniffing around. Misha, like any dog, decides to thoroughly explore the whole surrounding area for the second time. It walks and sniffs everything around with great interest. But there is one nuance in this situation. It is impossible to hide from Misha right now, because the Alabai is not so simple. At first glance, it just walks and strolls about and there is nothing special. But as soon as we're out of its sight, it runs to us to ask where we're going. So the escape tactic doesn't work, so we will go another way. Let's go back to the hangar with the dog. After that, we put Alabai in the car and go to the same place again. It's literally like in those stories about the dog being taken out into the forest and then coming back a few days later. That's the story we're recreating with Misha. Let's hope that it will not bear a grudge against us after such myth-checking. By the way, the distance from the hangar to the same point is almost 2 kilometers. We take the dog out of the boot, then take off its leash and put on a GPS tracker. This way we can track its movements, which is our original goal. Secondly, the GPS will be our insurance in case of any unforeseen circumstances. To film what is going on, we have called some cameramen whom Misha have never seen and therefore doesn't know their smell. They will follow our dog and record all its movements from the ambush. When I get into the car and drive away, it doesn't even realize what has happened. But then it smells a rat, turns around and runs after the car. Vitya is sitting at the back and filming it running after the car. I'm looking at the rearview mirror and feel sorry for the dog. At this moment, you don't understand how people can just take a pet out into the woods and leave it there. It is especially sad when Misha realizes that it can't keep up with the car and stops. But anyway, now the experiment has officially begun. And what about the Alabai? It immediately starts walking around the territory, paying special attention to the smells. Today we haven't gone to the place where it's walking now, of course, but it's not the first time it's been here, so this area should be close to it. It's not even upset about being left behind, though. It's a bit tired and decides to lie down for a break. Then it found something on the ground and starts chewing it. It knows that nobody will scold it now, but it gets bored with it quite quickly. In about 7 minutes, it comes out to the road where we left and starts walking back and forth along it. Then it walks in the direction of the car that has left, and after that it goes back to the place where it has been left. It happens for several times. Probably it is thinking what to do, to run after the car, navigating only by smell, or to look for a shorter way home. It's a big challenge, I'll give you that. I wonder where it will run to in the end. And while the guys are recording what's happening online, we're tracking the movements via GPS tracker. I have to say it works a little bit badly. It shows the movements with a delay, not quite as we would like, but it still works. Meanwhile, the dog starts sniffing the area again. It has already been here today, so it will orientate itself in space by this point. And indeed, from there it goes towards the path leading to the tunnel under the railway, so it has taken the right direction. Having passed the tunnel, it leisurely climbs the stairs, and there it is not far to the hangar. We do not meet in principle, but we have installed a camera. And now Misha has finally returned to its house. It takes 23 minutes. Tellingly, it comes back exactly the same way it has gone before. And when we come out, it starts petting us. It doesn't get peeved with us at all, and it's glad it hasn't got lost. It is also thirsty from such a walk. After that, tired from such a journey, Misha lies down and its eyes starts closing. Second attempt. It is too early to relax. Misha certainly gets some rest, but it's time to set off again. We put the doggy into the car again and take out of this place. The experiment is not spontaneous, and in fact the preparation for it began a month ago. Then we walked with it on foot and went a kilometer farther from the place where Alabai was today. So if you look on the map, this is where we dropped off the first time, and now we're taking it to this point. In addition, we arrive at the right place on a different road. Already by standard, Misha starts running and sniffing. I wonder if the smells that its nose detected a month ago could still be here. And in general, can a puppy remember odors that it smelled so long ago? Let's see how our doggy finds its way out of this place. By the way, we are luckier. When we leave, it doesn't even bother to catch up with the car. To be more truly, it has wandered so far that in the end, it doesn't even notice the moment of our departure. This time the dog will have to walk 1.5 kilometers to get home, if of course it remembers the road it walked so long ago. Exploring the territory, Misha runs into another underground passage onto the railway. We haven't walked here with it before, so it doesn't know this place. In the meantime, the passage through it can be shortened the way to the hangar many times. We all wonder whether it would risk going that way, but in the end, Misha thinks that it would be better to go back and walk along the reservoir. At some point, the GPS tracker points stop moving on the map. We are afraid that the collar with the sensor has fallen off its neck. It is actually much simpler than that. When our operators find the doggy, it turns out that Misha is just tired and has been resting. As a result, it has spent 37 minutes in one place, and when it decides to get up and continue its way, the first thing it does is to quench its thirst from the first bottle. Let's take a look at how the GPS tracker points has been moving on the map. Immediately after getting out of the car, Misha moved in the direction we came from, and in this direction it walked about 500 meters. After that, it turned round and went towards the hangar. Apparently, he realizes that the familiar smells were becoming less and less distinct, so it decides to change direction. It has taken 4 hours and 20 minutes to find a familiar building. It is easier from here. There are a lot familiar smells here, and there are no problems with finding the hangar. Having passed the distance of almost 2 kilometers, the doggy has managed to find its way back. Anyway, Misha comes to the hangar, lies down and starts looking at us with suspicious look. I wonder what it could mean. It's something like, the first time was fun, but the second one is not so much. It has also picked up a bunch of turnips along the way. Some of them are so ingrained, they come out with the fur. As a result, we have a dirty GPS tracker, a lot of turnips and one tired dog. We decide to continue the experiment the next day, but this time the situation will have some radical changes. Misha will go to the field where it has never been in its life, and the distance on the map will be 4 kilometers, even if we go in a straight line. The task is as difficult as possible. Feeling that it might be left behind, the dog isn't going to go far away from us. But still, when it runs again, we have left. So Misha realizes that the game of Find Your Way has started again. So it begins to look for the way again, trying to orientate itself by smells. But the problem is that there are no familiar smells. At last, the orienteering is taking place in the open area. Now it will be convenient to film with a quadricopter. That's what we did, having hidden in advance at a distance of 1.5 kilometers. Even though we have GPS, at first it is quite difficult to find the dog. But when we find Misha and start filming it walking on the field, the Alabai also notices the drone. Apparently, it gets interested and comes closer, realizing that this strange thing might have something to do with us. So we have to go up a bit to avoid embarrassing it. At first, Misha walks near the landing place and then it goes somewhere, but it goes in the wrong direction. We have been waiting for a long time that it will change its mind, but it keeps moving farther and farther away. A lot of hours have passed and the GPS tracker has less than 20% charge left. So we decide to go and get the dog. By the way, during its walk, it managed to get 2.5 kilometers away from its starting point. When we come to pick it up, it is sitting quietly in a sunflower field. It doesn't even want to come out to meet us right away. Probably now it is a little offended for such entertainment, but we have known from the GPS that it is here somewhere. When the dog gets out of the bushes, it is sincerely happy to see us. So, what can we conclude? You shouldn't take dogs out of the house.